Today I want to share with you how we edited this very challenging and complicated image. This is the final image that we will look at, but it started with something like this. And we had to blend in a background so that we can see the beautiful view. So we had to take something like this and blend that in. To get the final image, we also ended up using many different flash frames. So this is an example of a shot done with flashes. And then there's other supplemental flashes that looked a little bit something like this. So that was our challenge. We started with the base, we added in a medium blend, and as you can see, this Monstera was blowing around in the wind, so that's gonna present some challenges as well. We added in a darker blend, like this, and then we blended in some flash. Then we started working on our ceiling. So I've made a selection of just the ceiling, and we're gonna change and just add a little bit of detail in there. Then we're going to work on this light fixture that was also moving in the wind. So we add that in, and it also brings back some of the lightness from the Dutch gable there. And then we finish off that light fixture with adding a little bit more of the wood detail and eliminating some of that distracting reflection. Next, we added in some detail to that tabletop. That was very important. Then we add in some details on these stools over here. And it also adds in some detail over here on these pillars. So there's off and on. Next, we flash in some chairs. So these chairs here at the table, get a little bit of flash put on them as well. And it was important to make sure that the flash angle was coming from the same direction as the sunlight in the background. Next, we add in our outside view. But the outside windows here are a little bit too bright. So we darken those back up to make that look more natural. Then we have to come into our centerpiece, this big Monstera on the table that was moving in the wind. We get a flash shot of that so that it doesn't have any motion blur, but also again the flash was popped kind of behind the plant so that the light still seems like it's coming from outside. And then we had somebody working back here, so we had to remove him. Next up, we've got this large beam kind of in the center of the photo going across the middle. We added in some detail and lightness there. Then we have these lights that were also hanging. So we used a flash frame on that. Again, kind of a darker flash frame coming from behind the scene so that the light source still seems like it's coming from outside and looks more or less natural. Then we've got this bench top here. We've done some recovery on that, adding in some details. And then we did the same thing with our island. So we recovered some of that. Next, we do our fixes or distraction removal. So I've got one layer with all of that. I removed the umbrella. I've also removed an air conditioning unit, some outlets that weren't fixed, some lights in the ceiling, a little ceiling fan over here. And then we have colors. So we've got a layer here to desaturate the blue on the island. We've got a warming filter that kind of warms up all the inside and does not change anything on the outside. So we add that. Then we warm up a little bit of everything, a little bit more with this warm overall filter. And then one final pop of contrast using a curves adjustment layer. And now our image is complete. This image took about an hour to set up and shoot, and it took more than an hour and a half to edit. And here's the entire edit condensed down to about 55 seconds.